Imagine a world where your quiet strength is mistaken for weakness, where your thoughtful nature is seen as aloofness. As an introvert, you've likely experienced the subtle, yet painful stings of social misinterpretation. The noise of extroverted expectations can drown out your inner voice, leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. But what if the solution wasn't to fight against the world, to fight to become someone different, someone you're not, but to change how we face it? Epictetus said, "We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond." This simple yet profound lesson holds the key to unlocking our questions. It reminds us that while the world may throw challenges our way, it is our response to those challenges that ultimately defines our lives. The power is not in avoiding hardship, but in how we choose to handle it. As introverts, we often feel overwhelmed by the world's demands, drained by social interactions, especially in situations where we are expected to perform, at work, at social gatherings, or even in family events. Expectations feel like burdens, and our quiet nature may be misunderstood or undervalued. These challenges can feel like obstacles that define us, especially when faced with bullies or people who push us beyond our limits. But as Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You are not defined by the noise of the world around you. You are defined by how you choose to respond to it. And the good news? You have the power to choose. Step 1. Pause and reflect. Bullying, whether in the workplace, at school, or even within families, is a painful experience for many introverts. The aggressor might be loud, dominating conversations, mocking, or belittling you for being quiet or reserved. Their words can feel like a direct attack on your sense of self-worth. But the Stoics remind us that we are in control of our responses, not the bully. Imagine yourself at a work meeting where a colleague constantly interrupts or dismisses your ideas. Each time you speak, you are talked over or mocked for being too quiet or not assertive enough. The bully's words sting, and you feel a deep sense of humiliation. In this moment, it's crucial to pause and reflect. What is truly in your control? Your response. But don't respond in their favor. Seneca famously said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to breathe. What has been said is over you. Now don't react on what is said, but take the moment to shift your thoughts and choose how to react in a way that aligns with your values. Step 2. Shift your perspective. In those painful moments of bullying, it's easy to internalize the negativity. Consider when you were being bullied in school. Were you faced taunts, exclusion, or whispers behind your back? The bullying causes deep emotional turmoil, making you question your worth and wonder if you'll ever escape the cruelty of your peers. In this moment of thought, Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The bullying is real, but much of the suffering is rooted in the emotional stories. You tell yourself, "I'm not good enough. They don't like me. I'll never fit in." Your thoughts are clouded by fear and self-doubt, creating a narrative that magnifies the pain. But through the lens of Stoicism, you can challenge this inner narrative. Epictetus teaches, "Freedom is the only true happiness. The man who is not a slave to his emotions is free." You don't have to allow the emotional weight of bullying to control you. You can choose to see the situation differently, not as a reflection of your worth, but as an external challenge. Instead of internalizing the hurt, blaming yourself, shift the perspective. The bully's actions are not about you. They are a reflection of them, not your own value. It's the reflection of the insecurities rooted deeply within the bully. This shift in perspective is empowering. The bully may seek to diminish you, but you have the power to refuse to let their behavior define your self-worth. Step 3. Find your peace. The introvert's natural tendency toward quiet reflection can be a powerful tool in the face of bullying. While others may react with anger or frustration, introverts have the advantage of being able to pause, think deeply, and choose their response. Where it may be misunderstood by the world as a weakness, this quiet strength is something the Stoics valued highly. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When the world feels too overwhelming, remember that you can always return to your inner calm. Just as the Stoics practiced meditation and self-reflection, You can create quiet moments throughout your day in which you regain control over your thoughts and emotions. This doesn't mean avoiding the bullying or pretending it isn't happening, that we can't beguile ourselves. It means cultivating a space of stillness where you can find clarity amidst chaos. Let's say you're at work and your boss continues to belittle your ideas in front of colleagues. Instead of reacting emotionally, retreat to your inner space, even if just for a few moments. Breathe. You can remind yourself that their actions are a reflection of their insecurities, not a reflection of your worth. In that stillness, you will find the strength to stay grounded, not allowing their negativity to infect your sense of self. Step 4. Set boundaries. As introverts, we often prefer to avoid conflict, but the Stoics remind us that wisdom involves discernment, especially when it comes to protecting our inner peace. If a bully continues to harm you, whether in a personal or professional setting, consider setting clear boundaries, not out of aggression, but out of self-respect. It means not being clear to the bully at first, because it may seem unusual for someone to speak up after being quiet all the time. However, only with the continuous effort of application would your message be left heard. As Epictetus said, if someone is able to make you angry, then you are the one who has given them power over you. Setting boundaries is an essential Stoic practice. If the bully is persistent, it may be time to assert yourself calmly but firmly. You don't need to engage in a heated argument, but a polite yet firm statement of boundaries can reclaim your power. For example, in a meeting where your ideas are being constantly interrupted, you might say, "I'd like to finish my point without interruption, please." This is an exercise in taking control of your response and creating the space you need to communicate effectively. Step 5. Embrace amor fati, love your fate. The Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate, reminds us to embrace everything that happens to us, even the painful moments. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It means accepting challenges as opportunities for growth. The bullying you face, while painful, can be reframed as a teacher, a lesson in resilience, patience, and the power of self-mastery. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles in front of you, whether the cruelty of a bully, the pressure of social expectations, or the weight of self-doubt, can be the very means through which you grow stronger. Instead of wishing for an easier life, embrace these challenges as the path to becoming your best self. By practicing amor fati, the introvert can transform adversity into a tool for self-improvement. Instead of resisting the bullying or wishing it would go away, they can accept it as part of their journey toward becoming more resilient, more disciplined, more focused, and more in tune with their inner strength. From victim to victor is not a path of conquering the world. It is the quiet triumph of mastering yourself. It's not someone and stay as you are now, but by practicing Stoic wisdom, you will find that you are no longer at the mercy of the world. Instead, you are the architect of your own journey, steadfast, calm, and empowered. Remember, the world may be loud, but you, introvert, have the power to find stillness within. And in that stillness lies the true strength of a victor.